Hello, Moby the White here with a review of the King of Salvage, the AEGIS Reclaimer. If you're new to Star Citizen, visit joinstarcitizen.com to learn more before signing up for an account. With Star Citizen Alpha 3.22, CIG has introduced structural salvage, expanding the profession beyond simple hull scraping and looting. If you've never stepped foot aboard a Reclaimer, or if it's been a while since you last visited, now is a great time to become acquainted with this beast. With the Reclaimer's size and efficiency, you and a friend or two stand to make killer profit operating this mobile scrapper. The Reclaimer is a dated design introduced all the way back in April of 2018 with Alpha Patch 3.1, long before we had salvage of any type in-game. Things like survey drones, the manned cutter snub, and special scanners are all missing and will need to be added in, likely around the time of a gold pass. With all of that said, the Reclaimer's iconic atmosphere is unmatched in Star Citizen, and it was a joy putting this video together. Follow along and let me know what you think in the comments. Special thanks to VMXEO for letting me use their Reclaimer cutaway art in this video. See the video notes for a link to their Reddit profile for more great content. Okay, let's get going. The tour begins in the bridge of the Reclaimer, the epicenter for the current salvage mechanics. We have a pilot seat and claw operator. The claw operator manages the new structural salvage gameplay loop. Directly behind these are the salvage operator seats. These allow the user to take advantage of both hull scraping and of the tractor beam functions. Heading through the door takes us to the last segment of the bridge floor, where we have a terminal stand, a lift and ladder to the habitation deck, and a small personal elevator. The two scanning stations are essentially non-functional, but the remote turret stations each control 3 of the total 6 remote turrets. With only 2 terminals, you are only able to man 2 at a time versus all 6 at once. The Reclaimer is not a gunship, but it is not defenseless as long as you have a modest crew. We also have a nice view of the Shredder, a sort of in-game representation or simulation of the salvaging process. Current mechanics use beams, so we will just have to pretend this is doing real work for now. From here, we will use the lift to head on up to the technical deck. The elevator's not bad. On the way up, you get a nice little view of the Shredder through a porthole, but I'm going to tell you, if you plan on soloing this, or even if you have only one other friend, you're going to be using this all the time, and the speed will kill you. You'll get sick of it very fast. From the tech deck, we do gain access to the single man turret via a ladder. While the remote turrets come with a pair of size 3 Panther repeaters by default, the man turret comes equipped with 2 size 5 CF557 Galderine repeaters, providing more than double the damage of the remote turrets. Heading back down to the habitation deck will take us to the drone room. Not yet functional, this is where we will operate, launch, and store our various survey drones. We know little about how drones will operate in Star Citizen, as they have not yet been implemented in any fashion. In EVA view, we do get a glimpse of where the drones will deploy once in-game. Next stop is the ship's gravity generator. While some ships like the 400i display a visible grav gen, it typically is not interactable, nor can you swap it out. I imagine it will eventually play a role with engineering and sabotage gameplay loops. We pass the drone bay on our way to the technical deck escape pods. There are 3 pods available, but unfortunately they are non-functional at the moment. Do not come here in case of emergency. Once escape pod tech is in-game, most ships containing them will need a rework to ensure proper clearance on the hull. Across the way is what appears to be a computer room. Inside we see what looks like servers and wiring. While these serve no purpose currently, there will be a point in the future when computer power matters with things like server blades. Like the GravGen, I think we will see more of this come into play when the engineering profession is developed. We then head up a short flight of stairs to the habitation deck, and our first stop here is an odd one. The docking collar, with handrails on the ceiling and no ladder, cannot be used as an exit. You can enter the ship from above, as seen here, though it is very clunky. You fall into the top of the hatch, and when it opens, you fall into the ship proper. It's an odd design in sore need of an update. Next up, the Nostromo's mess hall. Almost. The ship as a whole gives off alien vibes, which I love. The kitchen is non-functional, but like everything else, should be updated in a future pass. I need a coffee machine at a minimum. The captain's quarters are on the left, but we will first visit the crew quarters. Upon entering, we see storage lockers and a restroom on the left. Sinks, shower stalls, toilets, all of which will matter for NPCs, I imagine. Moving into the room proper, we have 4 bunks and additional storage lockers, all of what you'd expect in a shared space like this. You'll notice there's nothing really fancy, it is extremely utilitarian. The captain's quarters are directly across the hall. The first thing you notice when entering is the giant desk for all that paperwork you'll need to do. Managing salvage claims, figuring out your taxes, and the like. Not sure what to make of the overhead lighting. A row of benches line the opposite wall, and of course there's a small cubby with a bed, closet, and shower toilet combo. And rust. It's a rusty ship, and the captain's quarters are no exception. At the end of the hall is a hub of sorts with mirrored access to the engineering subdeck, airlocks, and the main cargo lift, which provides access to the entire rear end of the ship. These airlocks are fairly large, with 4 suit lockers in the antechamber and a padded depressurization room for those rough re-entries. Simple in and out. From outside, you get a sense of the massive scale of the reclaimer. It's truly amazing. Whoops, came in a bit too fast. Back inside, let's head down to the engineering subdeck. These ladders are a massive pain if there's not enough clearance for you to back away from them. The place is as creepy as you'd expect in the bowels of a giant like this. Lots of what I assume will be component access panels that we cannot interact with yet, but will be eventually filled with stuff to tinker with. The Capital Class power plant is visible as the centerpiece of the room. An engineering workstation is also available, but mostly just for set decoration at the moment. It really doesn't let you do anything important. We finally reached the cargo elevator, which we will take straight down to the cargo deck. The elevator shaft itself is massive. The reclaimer is very much a cathedral to the god of industry. You go from small and cramped places like the engineering deck to a place like this, and you are quickly reminded of just how big this ship really is. The cargo hold's an interesting place. You can see I stored some scavenged ship components here, but they do not lock into the cargo grid. I'm not sure if that's just a Reclaimer issue or if that's game-wide. I suspect it's game-wide. This cargo bay has 6 rows split evenly down the middle by an aisle. Additionally, there is an aisle space between each of the 6 rows. I have not seen this on any other ship, and it greatly limits the type of cargo container and quantity of cargo containers we can store here. I expect an improvement here on Gold Pass, if not sooner. Next stop, the salvage hold. It's basically just another cargo hold with convenient access to the main salvage processing floor just above it. Looking up, you get another great view of the height of the ship. This is an incredibly long hold with a low ceiling. It seems better suited for storing oddly shaped ship components like large guns than it does cargo containers, though they do fit just fine. At the end of the hold, there's a black section that looks like it's meant to house a lift of some sort, though there's no controls for one. Above, salvage lift is written on the wall, indicating some piece of equipment is meant to occupy this space. If we take a look at the outside of the ship, you can see a protrusion that looks like it might be a door. Just below it are a pair of rails that a lift of some sort might ride. As far as space salvage goes, we do need easier access to the salvage hold, and this might just be it. As big as the cargo elevator is, it can be unwieldy when moving oddly shaped items into the ship. Back inside, let's make our way into the cargo lift so we can visit the room where all of the magic happens. The Salvage Processing Center is the heart of the Reclaimer, where the fruits of your labor spit out into nice and tidy boxes for stacking all over the place. The grids are nice, big, and with lots of room. Sadly, it's temporary, but I'll take it for now. Reddit provided a great image of what happens with reckless cargo stacking. This room has 6 bays, and the middle 2 are occupied by these machines that spit out your processed hull scrapings and construction material. You can also craft multi-tools and various attachments, assuming you've salvaged some raw materials. My guess is that these bays will allow for additional modules in the future that may have different processing capabilities or craft a variety of other products. For now, they're just cargo grids. The salvage balcony is the last unexplored floor on our tour. I will try to zip us through here as there truly is not much to see. Maybe this is where you go when you want to check to make sure all of your NPCs of the future are busily at work and not goofing off. It may be a good spot to reposition cargo containers from as well. Or just watch the fruits of your labor as others do the hard work. Last, we will take a ride out on the cargo lift so you can get a sense of how far it lowers and what it might be like to work with trying to move salvaged items into the holds. Come on, salvage lift, I'm waiting for you. And that is the Reclaimer as of December 2023. If you're like me, you are eagerly awaiting the eventual gold pass it rightly deserves. Thank you for watching. If you are new to Star Citizen, please visit www.joinstarcitizen.com for a guide on how to create an account and earn 5,000 free in-game credits. Until next time, be safe.